So I've been spammed since yesterday. I actually got a message sent by one of the GGG devs. 5:20 a.m. And he said, there you go. And then he linked me to this. I've only read it real quick once, and then I realized that I'm just gonna not think about it, and I'll read it with you guys instead, and we'll see my reaction for it, and we'll see if it's gonna solve the situation or not, because I kind of forgot what it was already. So essentially, what we're gonna do is we're gonna check what the Spectre changes are. The statement, to give you some context, is that I said before that it would be detrimental to new and newer player and casual players, but also veteran players that would accidentally weapon swap or unequip or benchcraft their gear so that they could potentially lose a Spectre. And if they are potentially costing several divines, which wouldn't be surprising if they're super rare, we'd end up in a position where you just lose them. And that's just it's enough that we have the AEG that can die from stupid mistakes like Fleshcrafter. All right, so can you reconsider making the new purchasable corpses able to be desecrated? There's a risk of losing your Spectre by just weapon swapping accidentally, corpse getting eaten by trigger, etc. So before I read this, I want to point out another thing, and that is that the mechanic itself, it's really cool that you can buy corpses, and that's a cool thing. But if they are desecratable, that would be counterintuitive or counterproductive to the actual mechanic, because then one guy gets them, because that's what we do in my global channeling game. Within 24 hours of a league, we have every single popular Spectre available for the community. All you have to do is go into my global channel, say, hey, I'm looking for this, and you'll get an invite and you'll have it within 24 hours. So this would be completely ruining this. So we have a solution to this issue that will prevent Spectres from being lost in hideouts in town due to changing items around, etc. If you leave town in a way that would cause you to lose your Spectres, they will spawn on the ground around you in the next area you enter. If you lose your Spectre in any way in a hideout, it will spawn as a corpse on the ground. If a corpse is spawned this way, only the owner of the corpse will be able to use Raised Spectre on it. I'll be honest, I did not expect GGG to pool resources to fix this way. I'll shit you not. My first initial thought was that they would just make them desecratable, which would be kind of sad, because the mechanic itself is really cool that we can buy Spectres, right? Or corpses, rather, and get that mechanic going. That's such a cool thing to do. However, there are some minor issues with this, and I do want to point that out. There's a couple of issues, and I want to point them out, but I think this is a really good solution. It's a good middle ground. And I said it before, I didn't think they were going to create a middle ground, because I just said make them desecratable is the lesser of two evils, but they actually made a middle ground, and I'm very happy about this personally. So what this means, based on what we've read here, is that you fuck up your shit, whatever, then you leave town, you lose your Spectre, they will spawn on the ground in the next area you enter. So I'm assuming that won't happen, or that this won't be bugged, which it probably will be, when you enter a town rather than your menagerie, for example. So if you fuck up in your hideouts, say you want to... my Spectres are in my boots, and I want to benchcraft my ring. Oh, shit, I just killed all my Spectres. And then put it back on. They won't spawn here. And I hope that if you go to town, because you can't cast your spells in town, that won't bug it. So you'll have to go to your menagerie, and what's going to happen is that your Spectres will then be on the ground here. That's my understanding of it. So the corpses spawn this way. Only the owner of the corpse will be able to use Raised Spectre on it, but there's no mention whether or not other people can leave town. It'll spawn on ground in your next area you enter. Oh, if you lose Spectre in your hideout, it will spawn corpse. Okay, so in your hideout, my bad. Okay, thank you for pointing that out. However, if a corpse is can only be raised as Spectre by the owner, but there's no mention whether or not other people can fuck with you and consume those corpses. And I have my hideout open for the guild and friends and whatnot, so we'll see how that's gonna go. So that's gonna suck dick if that goes down, if that's a thing that other people can consume them. Another thing is obviously that if you happen to lose your Spectres, you as a player need to keep in mind that assumingly these Spectres can, or these corpses can still be consumed in other ways, such as devouring diadem or your offerings. And most builds, not all, most minion builds are using a trigger wand. And a trigger wand with an offering, it basically means that if you have, say, Convocation left click, God knows, I don't even know why you would do that, but some people do. You see corpses have spawned here, and if you're gonna move to a better position to resummon your Spectres and you click, you're gonna detonate that and consume all of them with your offerings. But I think it's a fine middle ground, to be honest. It's just that if you see your specters dying, or you fucked something up, all right, just be careful. And I want to point that out. You got to be careful. They've given us a middle ground, and I'm sure people will fucking consume them anyways. But this is literally the best solution we could have asked for. So I didn't think they were going to do this. So just be careful. The problem, though, is this. If you're using Devouring Item, which some popular builds actually do, they have a Feast of Flesh, which is consumes corpses. The skill is triggered by the item granting it. So this will happen.
Wow.
There is the other one, the Keystone, right? The one that Kitava something? Kitava's Thirst. Thank you. Jesus. Is it this one? No. No, it's the Keystone one. Jewel. Wiki. Hello? Thank you. This one. Kitava's teaching, which gives disciple of Kitava. This one consumes corpses. Now, luckily, not many popular builds, or any of the popular builds that I know of, uses this right now. These are automatic consuming corpses. But you do have to keep in mind that if you're in a party or you have people in your hideout, like, they very likely can consume your corpses. I think this is a fantastic solution. I didn't actually expect them to do that. I made an answer on Reddit about it. Yeah, like, I didn't expect GGG to pull a middle ground solution. It's not perfect, but it does make the mechanic itself fulfill its purpose without being detrimental to newer players or casual players. All in all, I'm very excited for the corpse hunting. So the only downside of this is that we are very unlikely going to get a list of these specters. We're very unlikely going to get all the information until we can data mine it, which I will check with the guy that's doing PoEDB, which then means that we are literally unable to create a pure Spectre build guide. Because what's really important when it comes to my build guides is that I need to make sure that they function, and I want them to function on low budget. But if I can't even know the stats on the Spectres, and I don't even know how rare or common they will be, or how long it will be to get one, so I can't make a guide for it. I will make videos on it, but there won't be any written guides. On the other hand, it means that variations of builds that uses damage-dealing Spectres, such as Zoomancer, might see some video updates, because we had Forged Frostbearers. Nowadays, we're using Primal Crush Claws on low budget and a mixture of debuffing Spectres, including a PCC on the higher budget versions of that build. That might change depending on how the Hydras perform, for example, which we'll probably get to know once we get the torrent link to download the file to data mine. That's basically the gist of the Spectre state right now.